All right. Well, today, by the way, we are going to be introducing you at 11 o'clock. Instagram see me. Yes or no? Because the Wi-Fi was a little weak here. We're good, everyone. The agenda today is a little give back from my side. It is my turn to give back to everyone who's been with me, who's seen me do what I do, gone with my journey, and now I'm giving back by showing you who is my marketing. We're going to do a Q&A with our marketing agency, not our marketing internal team. Thank you, by the way, our marketing agency. That's who we are meeting with, our marketing agency. First of all, let me say Happy Memorial Day. As we are made in USA, this is an important day for everyone. We go through the phases of having our warehouse cleansed once a week. Today's Friday. We are doing the reorganization, recleaning. We always do this every week. We organize and we clean. We organize and we clean the same way you do your house. So at 11 o'clock, in 4 minutes, we are going to go more likes and keep it up. Guys, if you can tap the screen a lot for me, so this way we get a lot of likes on TikTok and Instagram. This way we have a very strong presence. So a lot of times companies hold very close to their chest the people they work with. And in my case, I find that not very productive. I find that it is very important that we share the people who we work with, our third party. So if somebody says to me, I want to make candles and I need your source to make my glass, I'm happy to share it. If somebody says to me, I need your wax company, I'm happy to share it. If they say, I need your fragrance, I need your wick company, I need a designer, any, I'm invited. Hang on, Ellie, just give me a second. So let me do a proper introduction. You can come on in, Abby. Oh, here we are. I think Abby is here. So let's just go. We're going to go live with Abby in a second. Oh, there's Abby. Oh, you're so tiny, Abby.
Hey.
All right. Let me make a proper introduction here. Number one, we are on 2 channels. We are on Instagram and we are on TikTok. Instagram is not going to see Abby. They're going to hear Abby. And TikTok, you already see her. I am taking this time, half an hour, whatever it takes, to introduce my agency. When I say mine, the agency that works with me to work on all my ad placements. I want to be clear about something. We have internal team. We have an external team. The external team is Abby from Mongoose Social. I want to share her with you for one reason. A lot of you struggle with your ad placements, with understanding the world of advertising on Google AdWords, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, Twitter, you name it. Everyone struggles with this. I've spent the last 5 years figuring it out, and I have a great team, and I'm sharing that team. And she is Abby, so he is with you. Hello, Abby.
Hey.
Oh, wait, Tracy, you can split screen. How do I do that? Somebody says you can split screen. Tracy, do we know how to split screen here? Let me see. Mirror video. I don't know how to split screen here. I don't know how to split screen. I'm sorry, guys. I tried. So this is Abby. Say hello, Abby.
Hey.
So Abby's from Mongoose Social again. I am going to be asking Abby. I prepared a bunch of questions for Abby. Abby, before we do anything, my first question is, in very simple terms, can you explain to everybody listening here, what is an agency and what does an agency do?
Yeah, of course. So an agency is basically an outsourced team. So maybe you don't have the time to do your own marketing, or maybe you don't know how to do it or how to do it as well as you would like. that's where kind of an agency comes in. So it's kind of done for you with either ads or emails, whatever that may be. And an agency looks after your marketing essentially for you so that you can focus on other things, product development and bits like that.
Okay. So basically, she is the person who does the ad placement and ad monitoring. Am I correct there?
Yeah, so everything for your ads. Once we've got the creative, we do everything else.
Okay. So guys, if anyone's got any questions as we're doing this Q&A, let me know the questions because I'm monitoring the notes. I will add it to the Q&A at the end, by the way. So I have my computer in front of me. My next question, Abby, and again, for all of you who are coming in new, I'm introducing you to my agency who does, when I say mine, the agency that works with us to place all our ads. I've spoken about ads all the time. Google ads, Facebook ads, Pinterest ads, YouTube ads, all the ads, SMS messaging, email messaging, that's Abby's job. So Abby, how do you help a business generate additional revenue outside of what they normally do day to day?
Yeah, of course. So a lot of businesses day to day, maybe they're posting organically on platforms, on their social media, driving traffic with SEO, repeat customers, things like that. Where ads come in is they're basically additional revenue, and maybe businesses are even already running them, but they're not optimized or they're not working as well as they could be. Where we come in is we come in as an automated solution, essentially for your marketing to build those ads. So it ends up being kind of consistent revenue that's coming through without you having to spend time and energy on it, that we look after for you. So it allows you to kind of focus on other areas of your kind of marketing or product development overall. So yeah, that's kind of where we come in really.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to say this. A lot of times the audience that looks at us, some of them are going to start new, some of them are startups, some of them are in their growth phase, and some of them are in their mature phase. They all have different agendas. So when the question is, what kind of customers do you accept knowing you can help, and what kind of customers do you avoid?
Sure. We accept any customer, so any customer, but there are a few criteria. So we have to have really good creative because ads in this day and age won't work post iOS without really, really good creative. So that's the most important thing. People also do need to have a good budget because if they don't have budget, it's very difficult. And by that, I just mean a couple of $1,000s a month. It doesn't have to be huge, but you do need that there so that we can test, develop and scale effectively, essentially. So creative and budget, we take anything from startups, mid-sized businesses, really big companies spending millions, but they're the fundamentals for any client is creative and budget.
People are asking, how can I get a hold of you? I put a link in the bio for you guys. So if anybody needs, it's number one, it's Mongoose Social. That's her, right, Abby?
Yeah, that's right. Or you can go to the profile that I'm on at the moment and there's a Calendly link there. You can book a call directly there or just type in on Rafi's link and we can get in contact with you there either.
Okay. That's so I went ahead and put a link in both in my TikTok and my Instagram. Just go in, it goes right to her contact and connect with her. I want to go back to something you said that you take any type of customer. And I want to bring this to everyone's attention because this has become a subject when somebody asks me, who's your marketing company? And I try to filter them for you by asking them exactly what you just said. And I want to reiterate that because it's super important, guys. If you have good creatives, and creative means great pictures that communicate well, you have videos that tell a nice story, Abby can do wonders for you, but you need the money for it as well. If you don't, with all the money that you don't have good pictures and good videos, there's not much Abby's going to be able to do for you. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly. It's the most important because it's going to be portraying your brand's messaging, your product, you want it to really get someone's attention, and you want them to know exactly what your product is, what your brand is about by seeing that creative in 1 second, because they're going to be scrolling so quickly. So yeah, with all the money in the world, if you don't have good creative, it won't work.
For all of you who are coming new, this is my marketing agency, Abby from Mongoose Social. I am going out of my way to introduce you guys to somebody I have vetted and worked with for 2 years, 2.5 years, Abby, now?
Coming up for,
2.5 years. She's spent a ton of my money. She's made me a ton of money as well. This is a Q&A, and I'm gonna continue on, and I'm gonna preface all this by saying it's a relationship at the end of the day. She has no magic wands, so you guys have to work with her. So, next question. So, I'm assuming, Abby, that your biggest challenge is results and expectations. Here's the question. What you think is a good start over a 90-day period might not be what the customer feels is progress. How do you deal with this mismatch of expectations?
Yeah, definitely. So one thing that we're really, really clear about with customers, because there's so many variables within a business, whether they've got enough pixel data, maybe they're a startup, maybe they just want to increase profitability. There's so many variables. What we do when we onboard someone is we sit down and we go through, okay, what are your expectations? And then I'll let them know if they're achievable, because they're not always going to be achievable within that time frame. So we always try and be really clear on those expectations initially. We stay in really regular communication. We have catch-up calls, reports. So at any point, if for example, they are expecting higher returns sooner or things like that, we can go through that and I can explain it's not going to happen overnight. This is what we need to do. This is our game plan, and that's how we're going to get you there, essentially.
Somebody asked, what was my expectation with you? You want to dive into that?
Yeah, so for Rafi, it's 4 ROAS is always the goal. That's the goal across kind of all paid media or higher. So that's kind of our initial goal. When we got started, that's what we wanted to get to. And I think we got there quite quickly. 2 to 3 months in, we were there. And then in terms of kind of further development from there, it's been a case of scaling. So we've gone through quite a few different scaling strategies across paid media, email marketing, SMS marketing, to really grow not only that front end acquisition, so new customers, but maintaining the lifetime value. So people coming back again and again and cross-selling onto different products. So in terms of, I would say, expectations, obviously profitability, we want good results, but we also really want scalable results. And Rafi is big on reinvestment. So as soon as something is working, we spend more, we make more. That's how we work.
I want to be clear to everyone who's here. ROAS means return on ad spend. The minute that I started with Abby, the one thing I said to her is, I would like, for every $1 that I spend, I would like to see a return of $4. This was my benchmark. I want to be clear. We got there, but it wasn't overnight. We got there. Sometimes there were bumps in the road. We got there, but everything had to be accounted for. What Abby is trying to tell you guys, and I'm speaking from personal experience, nothing is there is no one answer. There is no one thing, right, Abby? Like, there is no magic bullet.
Yeah, exactly. It's testing, and it's so different for every brand. Different variables work for different brands, even down to landing pages, website optimization. There's so many different things. So there's not like one solution for every brand that will work. We have to try a lot of different things for everyone.
I do want to say, don't feel overwhelmed that, oh my God, there's so much we've got to do. The way that I approached it, the way Abby has dealt with me is, I call it incremental progress. For me means we started, right, Abby? We started with Facebook. That's it. Mm-hmm. Then we moved on we built on Facebook, we built email marketing. On that, we built SMS marketing. On that, we built Google AdWords marketing. And then something starts doing well, this is what Abby's job is, guys. That's what she's good at. I'm introducing you to her, the marketing agency, Mongoose Social. The link is in the bio. I know what I've got. and I'm handing it to you guys so that you guys benefit from it as well. Even if you have a candle company, God bless you, go use her. You have a different candle company than I do. You have a different customer base. Abby's gonna figure this out for you. That's her job, right? Okay, next question. Very important question here. What are some of the requirements that you need from your customers to allow you to do your job?
Okay, so definitely creative. That's the top one. We have to have good creative. Now, if brands do struggle with creative, but they have budget, we can help with creative. We have user-generated content creators, but it's expensive. So if you've already got your own creative and it's good, that's a bonus. If not, we can help out, but you need more budget. The second thing then is budget. We need that ad spend. Like I said, a couple of $1,000s a month is the ideal starting point because it allows us enough to test and develop your strategy. Point three would be capacity. So it's all very well starting. Generally, we see good results coming through in the first 3 to 4 months. So you need to have that ability to scale. So that means, your fulfillment, your supply chain all needs to be in a position to scale, not necessarily very rapidly, but you need to be able to cater for increased demand and manage those systems internally.
I'm going to paraphrase this. You're very well spoken, Abby, but I want to personalize everything you say. I want to personalize it. Yeah. Imagine, guys, you are in a business and you go to Abby and all of a sudden she gets your results and you run out of inventory or you can't fill it. Or this is a job that you're in the middle of transition or you're scaling or you're a mature company that the fact that she can get you the business, the flip side of that is you have to be ready to deliver on that business. Right, Abby?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because you know what's the worst thing that happens is Abby builds it up for you, you destroy it, and then you go back to Abby and say, I want to start it over again. It's a waste of money.
Yeah.
That's what she's saying. So she's telling you, for her to take you on, she needs good creative. Somebody's asking, how do you account for these fluctuations?
Yeah.
Abby, this is your area of expertise. I have my answer as well.
Yeah. So we can be very reactive with brands. Obviously, as brands are scaling from small to mid-sized companies, there are issues with stock. We've had the pandemic. Things have been a nightmare for some companies. We can be very reactive. So we can pull that ad spend down if we're scaling vertically, which basically means we're increasing your ad spend. We can maintain your ad spend for a while so that you can catch up with your orders, sort your supply chain. We can even reduce it slightly so that you're not seeing as many sales come through, but we're maintaining your data is the most important thing. So we're reactive with your spend. We can reduce your revenue if we need to allow you to catch up, basically.
Next, somebody's asking a question, and I'm gonna keep this going, Abby. I'm gonna let you answer it, but when you're done, I'm gonna answer the question after you. What ROAS does Abby promise?
So we don't promise any particular figure. The reason being it changes so much for different brands. It's impossible to promise a return. A lot of agencies do. It's not something that we do because it just varies massively. What we do is we create a custom strategy for every brand. Of course, as an agency, we want all of our brands to get the best ROAS, the best revenue, but it's just going to be really dependent on a lot of variables.
I'm glad you said that because a ROAS is just a target that is a result of 1,000 things you might be doing or doing one and not doing other things. So it's very difficult for anyone to promise a ROAS. I always talk with Abby. I say to her that my mental target is a 4 ROAS. Let me explain to you guys something about a 4 ROAS, how is measured in the technical world, in the marketing world, and then also in the real world. When I say real world, in the cash on cash world. Abby is going to look at the stats, correct, Abby? You look at Google, Facebook, and so forth. We're going to get into attributions in a minute. But at the end of the day, if my revenue, hypothetically, is $1,000 today on all fronts, I'm not willing to spend more than $250 per day on ads. This is my target, and I measure it on my Shopify account. Even though Abby might tell me, hey, Rafi, you did 0.5 ROAS. If I spent 100 and I got $1,000, I personally look at the entire picture. This is just me. But Abby will measure it inside of her world. You want to get into that a little bit about this measurement, Abby?
Yeah, definitely. So we have a lot of different, what they're called attribution windows across lots of different platforms. A couple of years ago, some of you may know, some of you may not, we had an Apple update, which is called iOS 14. And what that did is it basically limited the trackability of results within ad platforms. So the internal reporting, essentially. So Facebook, maybe before for brands, was running on a 5 ROAS. Now it's showing a 2, maybe, for example. So what Rafi does is he looks at the back end, which is the Shopify. Obviously, that's the cash coming through in the bank, as a holistic kind of way to track the revenue. Now, there's a lot of things nowadays in ad platforms, they've got a lot better at that attribution. So it is more accurate now than it was a couple of years ago. But that's kind of what Rafi's referencing there, is the overall revenue, which is a really holistic way to monitor it. Your total spend versus your total revenue for the day. But with a lot of clients, we do still report internally within platforms as well, because that trackability is improved.
Somebody's saying, please share this. Oh, no. Is creative different than marketing?
Yeah, I would say so. So creative is the actual kind of image or video that's being displayed. It's a real fundamental of marketing, definitely under that umbrella. But in terms of marketing in the way that we're referencing here, that's kind of ad placement, email marketing. The creative is what you're kind of delivering to people within that. So, I would say it's different in that you want to be crafting a customer journey there if it's a video. So maybe, they're doing an unboxing or they're doing a review, something like that. You're creating a journey for them.
So to paraphrase that, creative is your video and your picture. You take your creative, which is your picture and your video, and you go out and you market it to the world. That's as easy as I can say it. You create a video or you create a picture, and if you do nothing, you have creative, you have no marketing. You have creative, and then you go out and market it. That's the difference between creative and marketing. Did I make it easy for you to understand? I think so. Okay. If I came to you as a new... There are people watching here. We're going to post this. Abby's going to get a couple of people calling her probably. So the question is, if I came to you as a new customer, how do you evaluate my business and create a marketing plan for me?
It really depends on the size of the business. So if you've never ever run ads before, you're a startup, you're just getting going, that's going to look very different to someone that's maybe spent $500,000 on ads in the past. So the strategy for onboarding there is slightly different. If you've spent on ads before, we'll go through and we'll audit all of those platforms. So we'll look in depth at the audiences you've used, the creatives, the campaign structures, all of the really in-depth kind of analytics, and we'll craft a strategy from there. If you've never run ads before and it's something that's new to you, we'll have a look at your Shopify data or your website data. We'll look at your conversion rate, your returning customer rate, any analytics that we can get, not necessarily ad related, but anything that we can get from you, average order value, and we'll create a strategy from there. If we're building that data for a startup, that journey is going to look very different to an established brand. So it's very much a personalized approach that we go through in onboarding.
Okay. So I know, Abby, I just got to pause for a second so I can say, for everyone who's new here, because on TikTok, a lot of people fall off and come back, I am introducing you guys to my marketing company that I work with. I have spent 2 years working with her. I have firsthand experience of her capabilities, and I'm sharing her with you because I think it's important that you guys have a reliable source to go to do your own marketing and to expand your business or your, if you have a hobby or whatever else you have. You might be a lawyer, you might be an accountant, you might be, and by the way, Abby is not product related only. Everyone needs marketing. An accountant needs marketing, lawyers needs marketing, golf clubs need marketing, hair salons, nail salons, pizza joints, right, Abby? It doesn't really matter.
Exactly, yeah. We work with so many industries, so e-commerce, realtors, insurance companies, even like plastic surgeons, like anything under the sun we can market.
One is a realtor, Buckwheat here. Do you want to tell Buckwheat what we have, what you have for realtors? Because I know you have a specifically program for realtors.
Definitely, yeah. So for realtors, we have a couple of different things we can do. We can obviously generate either buyer or seller leads, depending on what you want to focus on, or a combination of the two. They're lead generation based strategies. So we're getting the name, the email, the zip code, the phone number. They then go through into a custom form where we get more information from them for you. So like I say, zip code, maybe the number of bedrooms, any questions that you specifically want to know essentially about that lead. That then goes through to your CRM, or if you don't have a CRM, a CSV file, an Excel file, anything like that, and you would then contact the lead. So we do that across a lot of different platforms, primarily Meta and Google for our realtors, and generate some really, really strong results.
Somebody's asking, do you do the ads on our account? Do you need access? I'm going to answer that, guys. If you're the type who is very secretive and holds everything to your heart and you have to have access to your account, it's very hard to work with anyone in the world. You can give her non-administrative access to place ads. She will have limited access. So Abby, you want to elaborate on that?
Definitely. So all of our ads are done under your own accounts. We don't make ad accounts for clients. It's all your own accounts. We get partner access or employee access. So like Rafi said, we have limited controls in there, but it means we can place the ads, we can view the analytics, everything that we need, but nothing, for example, financial or things like that we don't need to have access to. So we have limited access, but it's all under your name in your ad account.
I want to jump back to Buckwheat because she's a customer of ours about the leads. I want to say this, that when Abby is describing to you lead generation, this is her, by the way, doing the marketing where she reaches out by placing ads in local zip codes where the customer volunteers that information in a form that is a pop-up form. Correct, Abby?
Exactly, yes. So we'll create a form, target by zip code.
Correct. So Alex is asking now, and I'm going to continue on with the rest of them. Alex, Pinterest, Google, Twitter, Google AdWords, Facebook, you name it. She is an expert in all the platforms. I don't believe a person who is in these days who calls themselves my marketing agency is exclusive to one. If they are, they have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea because everything that you do affects everything else. You have to have a working knowledge on a day-to-day basis, not a casual knowledge on every platform. And Abby, do you?
Yes.
Okay. So here's the next question, guys. If I had a small budget, tiny, and a unique product and great creatives, how would you start me on a very small scale and grow my sales?
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of budget, we work with clients with so many different budgets. So some, like I say, a couple of thousand, some spend hundreds of thousands a month, but they all start somewhere. What we would do is we would start with one platform. So instead of splitting that small budget between 5 platforms, we would start with one, maybe Meta, maybe Google, depending on the product. And we would initially scale you there. So we would build your data, build the analytics, and get you profitable there. That's our first goal, is to get you profitable if you're a startup. Once you're profitable, that can be then reinvested into more ad spend. Now, what we do then is we vertically scale. That literally just means we increase your ad spend. It's very simple on that platform. So for example, Facebook's doing really well for you. You're spending $2,000 a month. Maybe next month we'll spend $3,000 because it's doing really well. Once we get you to a place that you're performing consistently, you're seeing consistent results, We'll then horizontally scale you. Now that literally just means we incorporate more ad platforms. So we'll add in Google. We'll start that with $1,000 a month. We'll add in Pinterest and we grow you like that. So it's an initial focus on one platform, get that working, and then add more in.
I want to be clear about profitability because I think that that's a very important subject to everyone. Profitability, by the way, Abby actually gets involved on a very, very high level to say, if I sell this for $10, for example, she'll ask you, what is the cost of it? It's called a landed cost. She needs to know that if this is $10, can she spend $2.50 marketing this product per piece? Right? And that's what she's involved, not like she's not involved in your big Excel sheet and your payroll and all that. She's very basic information. It's $10. Can I spend $2 a piece? And then goes from there. So if you spend X dollars and a dollar and you get $1 back, that's it. That's not profitable. So the profitability she's referring to is, which is what I call, for every dollar that I spend, I target $4, which is 25%, $2.50 for the $10 is where my target is. No, we're not discussing, Andrea, for somebody who's coming in new right now, we are discussing, I am introducing you guys to my marketing company who does all my ad placements across every platform. So if anybody needs someone, this is an opportunity for you guys to get someone that I have worked with for 2 years now. And did you disappear, Abby?
No, no, I'm back.
Oh, okay. Oh, so that's I'm just introducing you somebody I've worked with and vetted for 2.5 years now. So the next question, Abby, if I had a sizable budget, huge, can you explain how would you holistically manage my account, and what does holistically mean?
Yeah, of course. So with bigger budgets come more platforms. It's very rare that you come across a brand that's spending hundreds of thousands just on one platform. It's normally spread across a lot of them. So in terms of holistic management there, it would mean basically incorporating all of those platforms into one strategy. So we're using maybe Google for acquisition, and we're using Meta for retargeting. We're also running acquisition, which is new customers that have never heard of you in Meta, so Facebook and Instagram. But maybe we're leveraging retargeting much more in Meta because we see better results there. So it basically means that we're reactive across all of your platforms to create the best overall strategy instead of just looking at one platform consistently. In terms of larger budgets, that comes into play a lot with scaling campaigns. So what we do is it's a little bit technical, but we use something called a sandbox campaign. This is where we can test a lot of variables. So it's just like in science at school, it's how I normally describe it, where you just only test one variable at a time. So it's either the ad copy, the creative, the call to action, just one small thing. So we run a lot of tests like that. Once we've established your best performers, we then scale them. So we use bigger budgets, bigger campaigns, and we put all of your best assets into those and we increase the spend is essentially how we would do that. To maintain strong results there, we do a lot of background testing and then we cycle in new performers that work well.
Can I just throw in something, Abby? I'm going to tell you guys, you can't do this on your own. Whatever she charges is worth it. I'm telling you, if you cannot do this on your own, you don't have the day-to-day know-how that she creates, that library in her head that has that intuitive kind of like gut sense. This isn't working because you might see that it's not working, but you're not going to know why it's not working. This is what I depend on her. I called her this morning. I thought I was looking at something. She turns around, our Google AdWords, Abby, and we know, I always say this, I always tell you guys, these days we're spending about $500 a day just on Google AdWords. And she's like, no, Rafi, like look at it this way, look at it that way. We got to look at it like this. Don't touch it. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. If it was me, either I'm going to put my foot on the gas on one thing and destroy it, right? Which I normally say, Abby, it's working. Put a lot of money behind it. And she says, no. So, that's what happens. So, do you ship to Saudi Arabia? No. Okay, next question. So that was that. Uh, oh, this is a good question. Why? And these are questions I prepared for Abby, so you guys can learn about the company that does all my ad placements and who handles all my advertising. Let's see here. The next question is this: why do customers stay with you, and why do they leave you?
Yeah, definitely. So I would say customers generally stay with us because we're very transparent with them about results. That's, I think, the most important thing because it's a relationship. You're basically relying on me to make you money. So I always work with customers very closely to establish a relationship. Pick up the phone, call me if you've got a question, if there's a problem. We always try and resolve things very quickly. So I'm very close with a lot of my clients generally, day to day. We have quite close relationships, and they kind of have that transparency there where, we're not kind of, they can see the results all the time. If they've got a question, why is this lower? Because sometimes, not every month is a good month. We do have things drop sometimes. We'll go through that with them and explain that. In terms of why clients leave, generally the most common issue with clients, with agencies, is the quality of the client. Now, what that means is either the creative is not good enough, or maybe they're a smaller brand and they don't have the budget. The thing with marketing, if you're a smaller brand, is it's not an instant fix. And I can't stress enough, it can take months to see results. If you're a startup and you've never made a sale, you could be marketing with ads for 6 months before you even see a sale come through. It can take a long time. Now, that's not every case. Sometimes it's a lot quicker. If you're an established brand, it's going to be much quicker. But generally, if we're working with startups and they don't have the budget necessarily to keep going, I would say that's the most common reason that people would leave.
Thank you, Abby. Before I have my last couple of questions left, are there any questions to Abby that are out here that you guys need to understand? If you have friends who might have Abby, who might work, and I'm going to say something very important to you guys. People ask me, Rafi, why are you sharing Abby? Why am I sharing Abby? I'm sharing her for selfish reasons. By the way, number one, I am a firm believer of give back. That means that I don't hoard anything and I give back, meaning if I've spent the time and energy to find someone good, I want a lot of people to have that same person. Save you money. That's number one, because ultimately you're going to get a promise and you're not going to get your expectation is going to be destroyed. And that's going to destroy the actual industry, because there are a lot of people out there who say things and can't deliver on it. So therefore, I don't want that industry to be destroyed. Therefore, I want Abby to have that business. But more importantly, the more people that she has, the more she is involved in the day-to-day algorithm changes, policy changes, nuances of different businesses. A realtor, a hairstylist, nail salon, candle company, makeup artist, they all have at the end of the day a marketing need, but there are nuances. So the better Abby gets at it, the better it is for me. A little selfish. Sorry, Abby. So, last question. What are some of the terms in marketing people should at least, when they're starting, be familiar with, and why?
Definitely. So with paid ads, I would say the key kind of terminology that you want to be familiar with is ROAS, which is return on ad spend. That basically is your return on investment. So if you spend $1 and you're getting $4 back, you're on a 4 ROAS. That's the first one. The next one would be purchase conversion value. That's the revenue that's coming through from your ads. So, maybe you spend $10,000, you bring in $40,000. Your purchase conversion value is $40,000. So that's another key term there. Click-through rate is also very important. That's very helpful in analyzing the creative, so how well that creative is working. So click-through rate is very important. Cost per acquisition or cost per purchase is also a very, very important one in monitoring kind of overall profitability. And then you've got a lot of background metrics like CPM, which is your cost to reach people. But I would say the most important ones for you are ROAS, purchase conversion value, click-through rate, and cost per purchase.
These are the ones I worry about, but internally, I have to tell you, um, our team always looks at bounce rates. Why is a bounce rate that important?
Definitely. So, bounce rates within paid ads can determine the relevance of the audience you're targeting, the performance of the landing page. There's a lot of different things. Obviously, if you've got a very high bounce rate, that means you're either not sending relevant traffic that's optimized to convert, they're just getting there and leaving straight away, or there's a problem in the actual landing page, the conversion rate isn't high enough. So, it's really important to look at bounce rates day to day as well. You want that to be as low as possible.
All right. Well, one person asked a question. Thank you, Abby. One person asked a question, and the question is: if I have no analytics, do you use other clients of yours analytics that are somewhat related to mine?
So in terms of kind of across our clients, obviously we have clients in so many different industries, quite a few clients. So for example, I know before we even get started, if you've got a women's clothing brand, I know exactly what interests will work. I know probably what strategy will work, what audiences, and what creative. So in terms of kind of sharing across clients, we don't ever share anything like analytics because that's private to that client. But in my mind, I know what works for each brand. So I know, depending on the niche, the industry, the vertical, exactly what strategy will work, what we need to do, how we need to do it. So yeah, hopefully that answers it a little bit.
It comes back to what I said before. The reason I'm doing this is the more Abby gets to learn, the better it is for me. My ultimate selfish reason. I love Abby, but ultimately, the better she is for you guys, for me, the better it is for all of us. So that's like kind of like, let's all get involved with Abby. Abby has a massive, I think, what do you work, 7 days a week?
All the time, yeah. 7 days a week, about 14
7
hours
days
a
a week.
day, all the time.
There is no time that I call her. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. It's not like I call her and on drop of the hat, she's there. Like, she is there off hours, on hours, but she is always there. And her understanding of that audience behavior is super. This is what I gravitate towards, because I believe at the end of the day, marketing is communication. That's what it's all about. And if the analytics, all the analytics is doing is showing you how you are either communicating properly or you're not, and you're converting. It's a funnel at the end of the day. I am pretty much done. Does anyone have any other questions, guys? I'm going to let you know one last time before I go. This is Abby. Abby is my marketing agency. We hire Abby to do all our ad placements across every platform. Pinterest, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Google AdWords, Meta, you name it, across all. How much is her consultation? Alex, this is when you go in my link in my bio and you apply, you go in and you put your information in, and she'll give you a call and discuss it. This is not my area. I know what I pay, but that's very private. Abby did a great job. Greg, thank you, Greg. Anybody have any questions? No questions. Abby, do you have any questions for me at this point?
I don't think so. No, I don't think I've got any.
All right, guys. So I'm going to take this and put it on my feed. I don't know if we can do 45 minutes of video, but I'm going to put it on YouTube for you, Abby. So I'll send you the file as well. All right, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you, Abby. You've been wonderful. And thank you for 2 years of work. And I expect... Let's see. Thank you, Abby. It was very interesting to hear. By the way, Sharon is from UK. Abby's from Manchester, right?
Yes. Yeah, I live in Manchester.
Sharon, where were you from again? Sharon is from UK. Sharon is one of our moderators here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So we got a big audience in UK. And by the way, Sharon wants to be my head person UK. So I'm gonna send to the inventory to next to Abby, by the way, and between Abby and Sharon, you guys run the business there.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. Well, thank you, everyone. Sharon, everyone, thank you. I'm going to wrap it up. All right, Sharon, Abby, thank you for coming on.
No worries.
I hope everybody enjoyed this. All right, guys. Adios.
Bye.
Bye bye.